to the RunnerX podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running.
Welcome back to Tough Love Tuesday. Last week we talked about agency and taking responsibility for your own training and your own thoughts. Today I want to talk to you about what Marie Forleo, if you follow her at all, calls Compare-Schlager. Okay, if you're a kid of the 80s, you remember I can't even think of the name of it. There was a drink that used to drink, to take shots of, and I can't even think of the name of it. So sorry about that. But basically, the idea is that you compare yourself to others. Are you comparing your running to somebody else in your running group? Are you comparing your running to what you used to do last year? Are you comparing your running to what you used to do as an 18-year-old? We can't help it. As humans, we're constantly trying to evolve. And a lot of times we get ourselves locked into this feeling of, I'm not where I should be, right? And so part of that can be comparing yourself to what you were doing when you were 18, when you were 20, when you were 30, and now you're 50. You're comparing yourself to a strength person or a running person you were when you were 150 pounds and now you're 180 pounds. This is really detrimental because I've spoken about this so much, it's like I'm a broken record, but your thoughts really do create your results. So if you're going out there thinking, I should be able to run a 8-minute mile on my 150 pound body, and I'm actually 180 pounds and I haven't run in 2 months because I've been busy, and I go out and try to run that same speed, I'm going to put a lot of pressure on my body, on my joints, and on my mental acuity, right? It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to beat myself up. I'm going to say, this is hard. I'm so frustrated. I'm too fat. I'm too big. I'm too old, right? When really what you needed to do was take a step back and go, okay, I'm 30 pounds heavier than I was last time I ran. I haven't ran in 2 or 3 months. Let me go ahead and not try to run full out. Let me go ahead and do some drill work. Let me go ahead and maybe do some curb running. And this goes back to that adage that people think you have to run on the road for it to be running. But if that were true, then treadmills wouldn't count, guys, because treadmills, you're running in place. So there's really no difference from you running on the road to running on a treadmill to running up and down your driveway, or putting on a band and unweighting yourself and running maybe for a minute and then letting go of the band and running the length of a parking lot. It's not easy to work your way back up to where you were. But if you go into it with this attitude that, okay, I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace. I've got 30 pounds on my figure right now. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more cautious of what I'm doing to my joints. Now, you might be saying, oh, Caroline, that 30 pounds doesn't take any effect. I'm going to tell you, go get a 30-pound weight. Go grab a backpack and put like 30 gallons of water, take gallons of water and put it in a backpack and put it on your front. Please put it on your front. Don't put it on your back because that's going to be hard. But you'll understand what I mean by that extra weight. That's why people wear weight vests. They put on the extra weight because that literally slows you down. It actually causes your heart rate to go up. It affects how you breathe. It affects how you move. Then you take the weight vest off and suddenly you can move faster. You seem lighter. So why do you think that you could do something like that and 30 pounds isn't going to affect your running ability? Okay. And I'm using 30 pounds because honestly, guys, I got 30 pounds on my frame. And I have to constantly remind myself when I go out and I watch the people that I work out with, and maybe there's on the schedule, it's a 400, right? 400 meters, and it's like around the block. And it's 80 degrees outside, and I haven't been running, and I go outside, and I can't run that 400 meters. So what I do is I don't go the route with them. I stay in the parking lot. Maybe I go all the way down to the parking lot, and I come all the way back up, and that was really hard. So the next go around, I go all the way down, but now I rest a little bit before I come back up. Or maybe I decide to go halfway and come back up. I try to do what my body will allow me to do at that time. I'm not going to say I don't push myself, because you're never going to get past your limitations if you don't challenge yourself. But I don't expect my body at 54 years old and 180 pounds to do what I was doing at 47 years old, okay, and 150 pounds when I was literally running 5 miles a day every day before 8 a.m. I'm not doing that now. That's not who I am now. Can I get back to her? Absolutely. There's nothing holding me back, right? But I'm not going to get myself injured to get there. I'm going to be patient with myself. I'm not going to compare myself to other people. I'm not going to compare myself to who I was before. I am going to look at where I am now, and I'm going to work to that person and how she is evolving. And possibly the 55, 56-year-old Caroline, maybe even 57-year-old Caroline at 150 pounds might very well be way faster than the 47-year-old Caroline. And I can guarantee you she's going to be running pain-free. Can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Hope you have a good one.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRx podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.